In the heart of London's bustling West End, a story of profound loss unfolded that left the worlds of royalty, television, and high society reeling. Ben Duncan, a charismatic figure whose life bridged the glamorous corridors of elite universities and the unscripted drama of reality television, met a heartbreaking end after plummeting from the rooftop of one of the city's most luxurious hotels. At just 45 years old, Duncan had lived a life that seemed straight out of a modern fairy tale, filled with friendships among princes and princesses, appearances on primetime shows, and an unyielding zest for the finer things. Yet, beneath the surface of his polished exterior lay the quiet struggles that so many face in silence, culminating in a moment that has sparked waves of tributes from those who knew him best. Duncan's death occurred on a crisp autumn evening, when the neon lights of Trafalgar Square cast their glow over the historic streets. He had been at the Trafalgar St. James, a five-star haven where opulence is the norm and nightly rates can soar to £1,000. This wasn't just any hotel, it was a sanctuary for the elite, having reopened in 2017 amid a star-studded launch that drew influencers and celebrities alike. Its rooftop bar, perched 7 stories high, offered panoramic views of the Thames and the city's eternal hum, a place meant for celebration, not tragedy. But on that fateful night, reports of a man on the roof drew the swift response of Metropolitan Police officers, who arrived just after 11 p.m. What followed was a scene of quiet devastation. Duncan fell approximately 100 feet, landing in the nearby Spring Gardens, a quaint alleyway tucked off the square's grandeur. Emergency services mobilized with remarkable speed. The London Ambulance Service dispatched an array of resources: an ambulance crew, incident response officers, paramedics in rapid response vehicles, and even a hazardous area response team trained for the most perilous scenarios. A trauma unit from London's Air Ambulance arrived by air, their helicopter's rotors slicing through the night sky. Despite their heroic efforts, Duncan's life could not be saved. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The police investigation deemed the incident unexpected but non-suspicious, a classification that brought little solace to those mourning him. In the days that followed, the hotel's rooftop, shielded by high plastic safety screens, became a focal point of reflection, its barriers a poignant reminder of vulnerabilities that no design can fully guard against. To understand the depth of this loss, one must rewind to Duncan's formative years at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland, an institution synonymous with intellectual rigor and whispered royal romances. It was here, in the late 1990s and early 2000s, that Duncan first crossed paths with Prince William and Kate Middleton, the future Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. As undergraduates navigating the pressures of young adulthood, the trio formed bonds that transcended the hallowed halls of academia. Duncan was part of their inner circle, a trusted confidant during the tentative early days of William and Kate's relationship. He recalled, with a mix of fondness and discretion, the subtle signs of their burgeoning love, the protective presence of royal security officers shadowing their every move, ensuring privacy in a world hungry for gossip. One of the most vivid anecdotes from Duncan's university days centered on a fashion show that would etch itself into royal history. It was the end of William and Kate's first year, a time when the campus buzzed with the energy of springtime revelry. Duncan was there in the audience, surrounded by a sea of attractive peers, but it was Kate who commanded attention that night. She strode the catwalk in a daring sheer dress, reminiscent of a translucent stocking, its fabric clinging in ways that turned heads and quickened pulses. William, seated front row, watched with rapt intensity, his eyes widening like saucers as she brushed past him en route to the runway. Things were never the same again, Duncan later reflected. The whole history of the monarchy had been altered. This moment, often romanticized as the spark that ignited their enduring partnership, was witnessed firsthand by Duncan, who became one of the first to sense the shift from friendship to something profound. Graduating from St. Andrews with a degree that opened doors to London's glittering social scene, Duncan didn't fade into obscurity. Instead, he carved a niche as a media personality, leveraging his charm and connections to appear on a slew of television programs. His debut on Channel 4's Big Brother in 2010 thrust him into the national spotlight. Cast as the quintessential posh housemate, Duncan contrasted sharply with contestants like Bristol's Josie Gibson, whose down-to-earth wit ultimately won her the series. Evicted midway, Duncan handled the exit with grace, chatting animatedly with host Davina McCall about the house's dynamics, the alliances forged in the pressure cooker of constant surveillance, the petty squabbles that mirrored real-life friendships, and the unexpected bonds that formed under artificial lights. Big Brother was merely the gateway. Duncan went on to grace screens in Come Dine With Me, where his culinary flair and hosting prowess shone, Ladette to Lady, a transformation series that played to his sophisticated sensibilities, and Celebrity Coach Trip, blending travel adventures with celebrity banter. He even hosted his own program, More Than a Mistress, delving into the intricacies of historical and modern relationships with a historian's eye and a storyteller's flair. These appearances weren't just gigs, they were extensions of Duncan's personality, witty, urbane, and effortlessly engaging. Off-camera, his network expanded to include luminaries like Lord Peter Mandelson, the political strategist whose influence shaped governments, Michael Portillo, the broadcaster and former cabinet minister whose journeys across Britain's railways captivated audiences, and Nikki Haslam, the interior designer whose aesthetic defined high society living.